All right. Calling this meeting to order of the Sacramento City Unified School District Board of Education for September 20th, 2022. Superintendent, can you please take roll?
Member Wu? Aye. Member Phillips? Here. Member Garcia? Here. Member Pritchett?
Aye. All right, we have a quorum. Do we have any public comment?
We have one, Rebecca Wu.
All right, welcome. Come right up here. All right, welcome. You have exactly 2 minutes, correct? But you want to push the button on the microphone. That should work now. Yep, that works. Yep.
Okay. Oh, okay, so it's starting?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Wu, and I'm here to talk about CCS. I chose not to come last week, kind of. And so I just thought it would be a little bit more private here. I don't wish to make a big fuss about things. However, you should have received my email. If not, everyone has it on the board, so you could ask for it from someone else if you don't have it. There were many things that I covered. One, there was absolutely an intent to bring over the teachers last spring. I was told by, I won't say their names, but top people in the union and here as well, not necessarily in this district office, but top people. So more than the intent to bring these teachers over. And so basically put a freeze. There was a freeze. The principal had a freeze on the hiring. And those hirings were not positions that were out to everyone in the district that we're going to go to like a pool. They were hiring specifically for CCS. Those people were not hired, including my friend who could not get an interview, but the principal wanted to interview and had spoken with her, had spoken with me. And so, and then in addition, there were several other things that happened that would clearly point to the fact that there was this hiring freeze among the 500 students that supposedly existed. I don't know that it was that many. And then as well as they couldn't come in when we had lots of spots. I know, I was a teacher there last year. In addition, those numbers were, some students were dropped. That's a long story. And so, but basically there's a lot of things, including Title I, that you can choose. And I cited the codes, I cited the collective bargaining agreement, and I cited the board policies for why you can also have experienced teachers there.
Go ahead. You didn't finish your comments.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So among the things with the Title I is that you're looking at one, CCS is Title I. It's got Title I, and then as well as there's some other comments that I made about how this is aside, so I'm kind of jumping around, but aside as well as that there's things like we need to have more tutors, we could have a lab, there's things like that as well. Field trips, there could be something where there's field trips on a regular basis because the money is not necessarily going there. But aside from that, the important aspect is right now looking at whether or not transferring these teachers over that are the new hires, the ones that were hired last year and or before this group came over in May, June, July, and August, the numbers were not there. Even the principal said there were like 300 that were coming in. So the numbers were not there. There was no reason to hire all that. And the intent was there in the spring to move them and move us out. So when it's a bad intent, then that potentially also becomes a arbitrary action by the board choosing to do something that is relating to statutes and relating to collective bargaining agreement and board policy. And in doing that, that becomes a arbitrary action that the board would choose to do so if they're moving out people just based on seniority with the intent to move the ones that were already hired with the intent to bring in probably even friends of the union, to be honest. I don't know. There's some things I've heard. I don't know the accuracy of some things on that. Everything else, I'm pretty confident. I'm about 99.99% confident I could absolutely prove with specific details. It is not something that would be looked at friendly by the public, and I think this is pretty private here. So I just think that it's just something that in the interest of this great district, and it's just, it's got its issues, but you can do the best you can, and it's not perfect.
Thank you. You said you sent us an email?
I did.
Okay, we will review the email and we'll respond back to you.
Okay. I know you can't respond, and
Yeah, and we can't respond tonight, but we'll take a look at the email and make sure you get a response.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it cites codes, policies, a lot of those things. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for coming out tonight.
Can I
Have a good evening.
Can I just ask a clarifying question?
Sure, yes.
Can you just unpack CCS? Can you just tell me what the acronym stands for? I think I know what the acronym stands
So it's the Independent Studies
Yes, okay.
Capital City.
for. Okay, just making sure that I had that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and again, there was no shortage when that was said to the press. There was no shortage of teachers because there were so many that were applying. And that type of position, independent studies, is wanted by people for 10, 20 years before they get in. So the applicants would have been a lot, including one of my best friends. So
Thank you so much.
I do have compassion because I understand people who've been around in the district a long time wanting to get in, and senior teachers. It's a rock and a wall, and I do have compassion for every single one of you, okay? Because I understand that, and I also know that the union strongholds people. So, yeah.
You can come back here and talk anytime.
Thank you. And
Thank you. Have a good
sorry for your
evening.
time.
Thank you. With that, we'll be moving into closed session.